Hey everybody, Quad Nines here. I know it's been a while. Hadn't had a whole lot of videos up on my channel the last couple weeks actually, couple pack openings, but I've been doing some other stuff. I have done some commentary for my local game shop, but all that went up on their YouTube channel. It's Crimson Castle Games. There is a link on my channel page for them. But anyway, I've been getting, I was really into the spoilers coming up for Journey in the Nyx. Mostly just looking for cube stuff. That's kind of what I usually look for. I mean, I like standard stuff a little bit. There's a couple modern playable cards, but really, I was more interested in what would be going in my cube. So I actually just made a bunch of cuts. Went from like 630, 640 cards, cut, like I said, cut all the way down to 567, and gonna cut a couple of lands. I just haven't picked which ones, just probably two. Um, and kind of there's a couple of cards I'm missing that I'd like to get, but there's also going to be some I'm gonna add from this set. So going to go with my top 10. I don't know that I'm gonna add all of them, but I thought 10's a good number. As kind of a honorable mention, this set does complete the temple cycle that started in, of course, Theros. Now I'm not going to put the two temples from this set on the list. I think it's kind of a set thing. Like, you don't want to just add one or two. I'm gonna add the whole cycle when I get all of them. So that's kind of an honorable mention. And along that same line, number 10 for me is a land. It's gonna be Mana Confluence. It's City of Brass, slightly reworded. Both have a little bit of plus and minus. Since I do run a lot of tap effects, opposition, Rishadan stuff like that, this is generally just better. So it is going to be a little bit better mana fixing, and it's going to go in as soon as I get a copy. Put it at number 10, because I think just about any cube should probably run this, especially run multicolored cards. So definitely pick one of these up for your cube as soon, if you get a good deal on one. I'm not sure about the pre-order price. I think it's around 20. I would guess since it's being rare, I mean, I know it's a good land, but I would guess at some point it's going to go down while it's in standard, even pretty soon. So I might wait just a little bit on that. Number 9 for me, some people may, not think it's a good card, but Sigiled Skink. It's a lizard. 2 mana, 2/1. And you think, God, like there's not better red cards for 2 mana. Well, there are. There's a lot of better red cards for 2 mana, but this thing does what red kind of wants. It scries every time you attack, and that's usually what you do in the red deck, is you attack. So getting to scry away the excess lands you just don't need, or get to just the gas that you want. I'm going to give it a shot. It might not be the best card, but it's definitely, the effect is something that red wants, so I'm going to give it a go. As my dog chokes to death over here. But anyway, number 8 is one that I'm just going to put in there just because I've got the other Johnnies in there. I don't know how good this card's going to be, but I pretty much give all Planeswalkers a test run to see how they do. But yeah, as soon as I get a hold of one of these, it's going in. I don't know that the -8 is that relevant, to be honest, because like I've got Storm with Brain Freeze. You've got just other ways of winning the game. But there, I like the dig ability the most. The counters are also pretty good, but the dig ability is what I would want to run it for in like some kind of bank control deck, maybe Naya. But this is going to, I've got this number 8 on my list. Would probably wait till after the initial hype of, the card coming out. It's going to go down at some point. Almost all Planeswalkers are initially inflated just for pre-orders. Number 7 on my list would be higher on a lot of people's list, but I'm just not really sold on it for cube. It does cool things. I do like this is one of the better Punisher mechanics I've ever seen, because either way you're pretty happy. But Athreos God of Passage, 3 mana Orzhov. It's 1 white black. You get a 5/4 if it's a creature, but most of the time it's not going to be a creature when you drop it. But whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. So, say you've got Kitchen Finks. The persist creatures make this ridiculous. Stuff like, I don't know, Hellspark Elemental, where it's going to kill itself at the end of turn, so I don't have to do a lot to get it to die, and either you give me the card back, or you take another 3, and then I'm gonna recast it anyway from the graveyard. So it's just really put some decks in a bad spot. But I said I don't. Orzhov is kind of tight in a lot of cubes as far as like the cards. I mean, there's some really good cards in Orzhov. I count Lingering Souls there. You've got Sorin. You've got some people play Mortify, Tide Hollow Skull. There's just a lot of good cards in the black white. And if you're real a stickler on the card or the different color combinations being even, I don't know if you can find a spot. I'd try it out. Looks like it would be worth a shot. The next card on my list, number 6, is the most expensive mana-wise, I believe. It's an 8 mana, Worst Fears. Now, I know this looks more EDH, but you know, a lot of the blue-black control decks that I sometimes like to draft like Mindslaver effects. Now, this isn't the broken, you know, Slaver lock, but get to control your opponent's, you know, turns pretty big, and if you can't beat them after that, you are pretty far behind. But like I said, I do like it is 8 mana, which is a lot, but you know, control decks get there. I make 8, 9 drops quite often. Now, like I said, getting to control your opponent's turn, kind of hard to top that. I mean, it's the ultimate on a Planeswalker or a 10 mana. You know, you have to invest 10 mana for Mindslaver, and it's played in a lot of cubes. So, definitely think this is a good one. You might want to pick up your foils. I did pre-order one at like $4, which I was ecstatic about that. I mean, it's a full mythic that even if it doesn't make it in my cube, I'm sure it'll go in EDH deck eventually. So, I think the pre-sale on this is a little low. So, if you got someplace you can pre-order it for less than $5, I'd probably jump on it. On to number 5, a card I'm really interested for just many reasons, but the Dakra Mystic, the 1 mana 1/1 Merfolk Wizard, 2 of the best card types for me. You're getting to kind of draw cards, but like say if you reveal yours and you reveal your opponent's and theirs is better, you say into the bin. If you're in some kind of blue-black reanimator, you know, reveal it. Say, hey, look at this big fat creature, get in the bin. You know, not to mention the off chance that your opponent has tutors, you know, that go to the top of the library, mystical tutor, vampiric tutor, stuff like that. You can it just hoses those just right away. And you know, traditionally blue does not have really strong 1-drops in creatures. They don't. They've got some decks run, or some cubes run Phantasmal Bear, which I don't. I mean, it's okay, but I'm usually not going the beatdown route with blue. And then you got Enclave Cryptologist, which some run. I like it. I like the looting effect. And this is similar, but you know, it's not symmetrical because you're getting to choose when you reveal, if you reveal, and if you keep them or you bin them. Now, it is a mana. I mean, how often is a control deck, which this goes in the control deck show, or they, you know, they're holding mana up to end of turn and then they want to be able to do something with it. Well, this is something to do. On to number 4, which is a very versatile card. And when I first saw it, I didn't read it correctly, I guess. I didn't get that it was pretty good. You know, a 2-power 1-drop in black is pretty good. You know, this, I mean, Tormented Heroes a card, Gravecrawler's a card with, you know, little different abilities. They usually can't block, or if they can, they come in tapped. This one can't block, but it's also a bestow. Now you might just tag it on your flyer or just your, you know, your top deck late in the game. You just put it on a creature just to give it a little bit more power, a little bit bigger butt, and when it falls off, then you've got another 2-power, you know, attacker. But on the other mode is put it on your opponent's creature and they can't block. So it might help for the Alpha Strike. Maybe your opponent's got a, I don't know, Spellskite or a Wall of Omens or something that's just holding off your whole team. Or you just throw this on it and it's just like the saddest defender ever because it can't block. And it's all 1 mana or 4 to bestow. So very versatile card. I like it a lot. I really want to pick up a full as soon as I can find one. I think it'll actually probably look pretty good. On to number 3, we have Banishing Light. You know, it's just the retemplated version of Oblivion Ring. White always wants this kind of spell. I mean, you've got, look down, you can see Banisher Priest, Journey to Nowhere, Oblivion Ring. This is something White wants to do, and White is usually lacking in good spells. So, and you know, there's a little bit less shenanigans you can do this, but you don't do that often anyway. Usually, you know, you're just casting it it goes on something, and when your O-ring or banishing light goes away, then it comes back. So if you want more of this effect, I definitely think it's one of the more playable cards in the set, just because it's just good removal. It does what you want it to do. Actually, somehow I've lost my number 2 pick, so I'll just scroll down here until I see it. And it's one of the more talked about cards. Is like some people think it's really awful, some people really like it. And here it is, Prophetic Flame Speaker. I really would like to, if it load up, be awesome. Okay, here we go. It's 1 red for Human Shaman with double strike and trample. It's a 1/3. I mean, the biggest reason I love this card is because in my cube, for example, red has very few good 3-drops. You've got Chandra's Phoenix, Ball Lightning's a good card, but it goes away. It's a one-shot deal. You've got some stuff like, I don't know, Goblin Rune Blaster. There's just not a lot of strong red 3-drops. I guess you could go Boros Reckoner if you play that one. I don't, but some cubes do. And it's, a form of card advantage. When you untap on turn 3 or whatever, or turn 4, I mean, and you can attack with it, usually you've got some way of either getting rid of the creatures that are in your path, to get it through, but you won't have to use that many mana. You can bolt it, something like that. And also, like, if you run something like Ghor-Clan Rampager, how does anybody ever get around not taking, like, 7 on turn 4, at least, and you draw in, exiling the top card twice, and you should have a couple mana left to do it, or maybe it's a land drop. But anyway, I think this card's just going to be value in the mono red deck and cube, because red needs a way to get through their deck to find the cards they need, more card advantage. And it's got double strike and trample, and I like those things. I run the full assortment of swords, I run Jitte, I run all these things. So I definitely think that this is a card I'm going to want to run. It's going to turn games around, and it's a little harder to kill than some because it's got 3 toughness. Okay, and my number 1 pick for cube, I've actually been gushing about this card a little bit more than most people, but Keranos. Love this card. It's the best god I've seen. Besides Thassa, Thassa's probably more playable, but in the decks I like to play, this one's going to be better. Some kind of either just straight up blue-red controller, or Grixis red, white, blue. But this card does what you want. If you're drawing a land, you get another card. If you draw a spell, well, hey, you're going to get a lightning bolt stapled onto that on whatever you want, and it's just. And if you ever do get it online, it's a 6/5. So all upside. I would play this just for the enchantment part. I mean, extra cards, extra, free lightning bolts is where I want to be, because that's usually run out of a little gas sometimes in my red-blue deck. I run out of counter spells, I run out of burn spells, and this guy just refills your hand or gets rid of the creatures that you don't have removal spells for. So definitely, if you find any deals on this guy, pick him up. I'm going to be hard-pressed to find a full at any decent price, I'm sure, but I'm going to be on the lookout. I've already added, like, Xenagos to my cube. I've got Porphyros. I've actually had Thassa in. I had to pull her out for... Oh, yeah, I played Standard one night, and I didn't have a Thassa anyway. So I have to charge some of the God cards. They do work pretty well. I like them. This is my favorite from this set, without a doubt. So anyway, just let me know what you think down the bottom. Chippy12 was also going to be doing his top 10. I haven't seen his list, but definitely go check it out on his channel. He should be up now too. This should be going up Wednesday for me. Also, best I know, we're going to try and do another CNN, the Cube News Network, on Monday, and kind of go over our list and kind of just talk about kind of what I've done here, but go more in depth and find out what our differences are, and just some other little cards that may get in there. Like I had a couple, 3 or 4 other cards that could have made a list, but I guess it really depends on the cube. But anyway, once again, sorry about not having a lot of videos lately, but hopefully you enjoyed this one, and just let me know down in the comments what you thought I may have left off that you think should be on the list, or just something you don't really like from the list. Thanks for watching.